What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about the Alabama transfer portal. Guys they got that are going inside the portal and what their future is going to be. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, as it does help out the channel a lot, and enjoy the video. A lot of Alabama players, I think it's over 22 players, have entered the transfer portal for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer and a whole new staff is coming in after Nick Saban unfortunately retires at 72. And, the staff and Kalen DeBoer's direction is trying to keep as much players, because obviously Bama has incredible talent, to keep those players on the roster. And, it's been really tough. I wouldn't say it's been successful. They lose talent like Caleb Downs, which is obviously one of the most talented safeties, a top, 10 player in his class that year. Really hard loss for them. And that one just sucks, because I think he was going to be a first-round pick, and I think he's going to go to Georgia, who came in second for him in the 2023 recruiting cycle. So I expect that. And then, obviously, they had a tight end that committed to Texas. They had a linebacker go to commit to Texas. And then they had Isaiah Bond, who was one of their best, receiving players, one of the best wide receivers. And he is a guy that I think can hit another level and be one of the best players in the country next year, potentially. They had the transfer portal commit from Washington, the quarterback, a guy that Kalen DeBoer brought back with him, and Mack. They got Mack, and then they got, obviously they have Julian, Sayin, who I think is the number one quarterback in his class, in the 2024 class. Alabama beat out a bunch of really good schools to get him, including Ohio State, and he signed his NLI. Obviously, Nick Saban retires after that, and now he entered the transfer portal. So just really unfortunate, stuff right there. Obviously, they got a quarterback commit, and they lose one of the most talented, guys going to be on the roster. He's the future. I thought he was the future at Alabama. Looks like he's going to go to Ohio State. There's huge blows to the Alabama, fan base, to this team. And, obviously these guys want to play for Nick Saban. They've came to Alabama to play for Nick Saban because, it's not a guarantee they get drafted, but Nick Saban can almost guarantee you get to play in the NFL. That's how good he is. You go there for that chance. And, obviously Kalen DeBoer, he could be a really good coach, but it's going to be hard for him to live up to that Nick Saban caliber. So, I understand why players are leaving, and obviously they had the 30-day to get into the portal. It's just really tough to watch, because Alabama fans, obviously they've had, 6 national championships. They've had so much success that, this is a part of college football that can hurt a lot with a lot of coaching change. Unfortunately, when coaches get fired, when, you hire new guys, a guy retires, obviously, these type of things are going to happen. And maybe it happens worse. Maybe the guy they bring in can keep the roster together better, or, it could just keep, turning and turning and turning. It's just, it won't look good. And that's the tough part about this business in college football with the transfer portal now. But yeah, just a really tough few weeks. Obviously, they found the coach, and I still believe in Kalen DeBoer. I don't think if, I know there's some ridiculous people on Twitter, saying Kalen DeBoer, is this a questionable hire now because of how much talent it's lost? Even though in this day and age of college football, it's just tough to, bring back the talent when your coach that you're going to play there for leaves, because, what Nick Saban thrived off of was relationships and, that pedigree of going to the NFL. I think Alabama, when, if I got to talk to an Alabama fan right now and they were frustrated, I would understand it. But I think at the end of the day, you got to think, like, in a few years, you'll look back on this moment being like, remember when that happened to us, when we lost all this talent in the transfer portal? But now look at us, look at where we are, and, Kalen DeBoer's doing a good job. That's for sure possible. Kalen DeBoer, I think, is a heck of a coach. I think he's going to do well at Alabama. I think he's going to be, one of the top coaches in the sport. He's won everywhere he's went. I think he can win at Alabama, but it's not going to be like Nick Saban. I think we got to understand that, and that shouldn't be the expectation for him, because that's just going to set him up for failure. So if I had a message to Alabama fans is, I know it sucks just sitting here watching all these guys into the portal and it feels like it's doom. I know people are probably freaking out, but, there's a lot of talent on this roster. I know it's very tough for Kalen DeBoer right now because, this wasn't a move that was made, November, December. This was a move that was made, at the beginning of January. It's really hard to build a roster in the transfer portal, get some help there when all the, great talent in the portal is already gone because, teams have already, got most of their commits. A lot of these guys are committed, getting ready to go play in spring ball and compete for those teams. Everyone, most of the transfer portal targets are. So it's really tough for Kalen DeBoer in Alabama right now. But they have to stick to the process and stick that, this is going to happen. It's a part of the sport, and I would expect them to have more guys enter in, if not, in a few weeks after spring ball. It's going to be something that happens. They just have to rely on their development, rely on the talent that they got, because Alabama, unfortunately, they are layered. Fortunately, they are layered with talent from top to bottom. They got it. They just got to put it all together. And the depth isn't going to be what it usually is at Bama, and we know that. But I think Kalen DeBoer's the guy. I think Bama fans shouldn't freak out right now. That'll do it for me. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.